Inactivating variants in the ANGPIL4 and risk of coronary artery disease. The background: higher than normal levels of the circulating triglycerides are a risk factor for ischemic cardiovascular disease. Activation of lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme that is inhibited by angioprotein like 4, has been shown to reduce levels of circulating triglycerides. The definition of coronary artery disease. The analysis: the level of the serum triglycerides is in part heritable, and elevated levels are associated with a risk of ischemic cardiovascular disease. Two lines of genetic evidence have further established a causal role for serum triglycerides in the risk of cardiovascular disease. First, inactivating mutations in the gene encoding apolipoprotein C3, a component of Raman particles, were reported to be associated with decreased serum triglycerides levels, a decreased burden of subclinical atherosclerosis, and a reduced risk of ischemic cardiovascular disease, which suggests that therapeutic modulation may reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. Here are the applications in medicine. And the pros and cons. We identify 1,661 heterozygotes and 17 homozygotes for the E40K variant, and the 75 participants who had 13 other monoallelic inactivating mutations in the gene. The levels of triglycerides were 13% lower, and the levels of higher density lipoprotein or cholesterol were 7% higher among carriers of the E40K variant than among non-carriers. Carriers of the E40K variant were also significantly less likely than non-carriers to have coronary artery disease. And the issue applied in Ecuador. A newspaper reported in Ecuador, according to the World Health Organization, these are the leading cause of death. Ischemic heart disease are the first place with a total share of 10.3% of deaths recorded in 2012. On the other hand, cardiac arrest, also related to cardiovascular problems, correspond to the 7.7% of the total deaths. According to data collected by the National Institute of Statistics and Census of Ecuador, in 2014 a total of 4,430 deaths were reported from ischemic heart disease, while heart failure deaths reached 1,316. And the conclusion, finally. Carriers of E40K and other inactivating mutations in the gene have lower levels of triglycerides and a lower risk of coronary artery disease than non-carriers. The inhibition of the gene in mice and monkeys also resulted in corresponding reductions in these values.